Gentlemen, I'm Jim Ross, your host for the next 60 minutes. And in the next 60 minutes, you're going to see the fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. You'll see a great tag team match from the past when Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Dr. S.D. Williams joined forces to go against the massive team of King Kong Bundy and the One-Man Gang. Plus, you'll see the new North American champion, Dick Slater, in action, and a whole lot more, ladies and gentlemen, in this hour of Power Pro Wrestling, including Cowboy Bill Watts' visit with one of the most influential congressmen on Capitol Hill, Congressman Jim Jones from Oklahoma. We'll have all this and much more for you as this hour progresses. But right now, let's take a look at the most recent broadcast of Mid-South Wrestling. It had several news-making events on that program. Let's see what happened.
Jake had better watch himself. Joe, I think Jake's made a very severe error, a tactical error in that situation. Dark Journey obviously interfered, but he's got to keep his mind on his business in that squared circle. Slater has seized this moment and has turned the tides once again on Jake Roberts.
Again, we see that outside influence becoming a factor. Of course, Dark Journey is pretty easy to notice.
Jake reversed the DDT. This crowd is going crazy. They're standing 1, 2, 3. We've got a new Mid-South television champion. A man with a DDT.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We got to get some help down here. Steve Dawes just being manhandled. Listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd.
Hacksaw Butch Reed is there on the scene. Wait a minute, there's Dick Murdoch.
Dick Murdoch, Dick.
Murdoch and Reed are scheduled to wrestle next, ladies and gentlemen. Murdoch's looking like he's trying to set Reed up for that brainbuster. Wait a minute, no! He's bouncing right off the concrete. I think he stuck his fingers in the eye holes, Joe. Humongous. Really reeling there. Looked to me like that's what they were doing.
Looks to me like Terry's fighting fire with fire. I love it. Terry is...
Oh, he's setting off those ropes. It looked like he was going for that big forearm. But I think there you're looking at the culprit. Terry's going to cut. Yeah! Listen to this crowd. Taylor comes out the rope with this big forearm. He hit it with the forearm. He covers him up. He's got it. Call for the bell. It's an automatic disqualification. Murdoch is hammering DiBiase. Piston fire. Murdoch and DiBiase toe to toe. It's toe to toe. And there's a mass superstar. Come on, boys. We gotta get some help down here before something drastic happens. Dick Murdoch is in the lane spine. Come on, Ted. Hear the roar of the crowd. Dr. Death is up in the ring. Oklahoma versus Texas. Look at that suit in the red. He's taking it to the long hard. And DiBiase's got the superstar in the corner. It's pandemonium and 9,000 are standing.
We're going to have to close. We will show you a little bit of somebody that's coming your way, the fabulous ones. And until then, Jim, it's been a great hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Joel Watts, I'm Jim Ross. We'll see you next week right here on Mid-South Wrestling.
Several important things, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of that last Mid-South broadcast. Number one, Jake Roberts becoming the new Mid-South television champion, effectively using his DDT on Dick Slater to secure that victory. Also, Terry Taylor using his patented 5-arm, and we'll hear Terry talk about that in the upcoming weeks. His 5-arm put down humongous like nobody else has ever done. And we also saw the situation involving Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death, as they really had a Pier 6 brawl with Dick Murdoch and the Masked Superstar in the latter stages of that program. In just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, the new North American heavyweight champion, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater, along with Dark Journey, will join us right after this time out.
One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Corner to my right, the red corner, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. And across the ring in the blue corner, dressed in blue, Steve Dahl. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Now you got $25,000 for me, sucker. Huh? You want to take $25,000 off of me, boy? Huh? And let me tell you something, girl. I'm black, and I'm proud of it, you hear me? I know what I am. The trouble is you don't know who you are. You trying to be something that you ain't. I'm going to tell you that right now. You trying to be something that you not. Hey! What? Bring your thing in here so I can talk. Let me tell you something, heifer. You know that black men don't treat women like white men when it comes to slapping on them. So let me tell you this one thing, Trap. When you put your hands on me again, I'm gonna knock you smooth out. And let me tell you something, back jumper. Let me tell you something, back jumper Slater. You got $25,000 to take out on my head. I'm gonna give you a chance to make your money, sucker. I'm gonna turn my back on you, and you back jump me when I walk away. Take your best shot, boy. I'm sorry. Here. Hold it, wait a minute, Butch Reed. Just wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you something right now. The $25,000 that I got from Ric Flair for the North American Heavyweight Champion, I gave him the money back. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with Ric Flair. You all can beat each other to death. As far as I'm concerned, you can win the World Heavyweight title. Hey, let me tell you something, Slater. You a lie, and you full of something I can't say on TV. But, sucker, I'm going to tell you this. This is the best shot you're going to get all night. So you better take it right now. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one explosive situation. Look at Slater. Look at Slater on the monitor. He gave the money back. And they're getting Hacksaw Butch Reed. They're having to... The referees are down here. Hacksaw Butch Reed was ready. I said he was the man. He is the man.
I gave him the money back. Flair's got the money back. I don't want a piece of Butch Reed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, one thing is right. You better not want a piece of Butch Reed, or a very big piece for that matter. Gave the money back. Look at Slater. Hacksaw Butch Reed is ready. You don't think he doesn't have the eye of the tiger? Well, as soon as they get Dark Journey out of the ring, of course, he certainly doesn't belong. There's no business at the ring, in my opinion. Dick Slater and a fine-looking young athlete in Steve Dahl will have combat. And we've got action here on Mid-South Wrestling. Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. Thank you for being with us.
Dick Slater's just as aggressive as ever against his young rookie, Steve Dahl. He has taken the battle right to him, possibly fueled by a small degree of humiliation he just suffered at the hands of Hacksaw Butch Reed. He picks him up. He hits him a rear follow-away and goes for that lateral press, ties up the leg.
Well, he's a world-class competitor, Mr. Unpredictable Dick Slater. The current North American heavyweight champion. It's ironic that when he first came to the Mid-South area, he was emphatic in saying that his mission here was not to win the North American title. But now that he has a North American title, it seems that that is exactly why he came here in the first place, or so he says. Be that as it may, it seems that Mr. Slater has a hard time of telling the truth, and we'll hopefully have more from him. He is a North American champion. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of Dick Slater and Dark Journey in upcoming weeks. Another team that is on their way to the Mid-South. They've appeared in many of our cities. The fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. They're very arrogant, but they're very talented as well. We'll see them in action after this word from the exciting Mid-South Network. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Ross. Welcome to this segment of Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of exciting things to tell you about in this hour. And it's all centered around Tuesday night, January the 28th, our Fan Appreciation Night. Now listen to what's in store for you. Not only is every general admission seat reduced to only $3, now that's for adults and for children, $3 a seat in general admission. You're also going to be able to meet your favorite stars between 6:30 and 7:30. Have your autograph books handy and your cameras. Plus, you're going to see for the first time ever a 20-man come dressed as you are bunkhouse brawl for $10,000. It's like a battle royal, except they can wear anything they want into the ring. And plus, you're going to see this lineup. The match ordered back with no disqualifications. Jake Roberts will challenge Dick Slater once again for the North American Heavyweight Championship. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and the Masked Superstar go against Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death. You'll see Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert against Terry Taylor. You'll also see the Fab, Stan Lane and Steve Kern this card, going against Al Perez and Ricky Gibson. Plus the Bruise Brothers take on the Sheep Herders. And there's a whole lot more to tell you about, but right now, let's hear these comments from Hot Stuff.
I guess I'm supposed to stand here and feel privileged. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm a little privileged and honored that Terry Taylor would actually sign a match against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. You know, maybe I would have thought that for just a little bit, Terry Taylor. But see, a little things have happened and changed since you've been gone. Since you've been to Atlanta and won the National Heavyweight title. Well, Hot Stuff's come on his own, baby. Former Mid-South Tag Team Champion. And, brother, I'm on my way back up. So, Terry Taylor, if you think you're coming back to Mid-South to make an example out of Hot Stuff, brother, you got another thing coming. Because I know you're jealous. I know you're angry because so all your women. But, brother, come on. And maybe I'll just give you one down at the Weight Watchers, brother. Come on. And try to get a hold of Hot Stuff. Taylor, you're going down if you spin to me.
Those comments from the arrogant one. He will be going against Terry Taylor. And Terry Taylor has made some comments. Let's hear this.
I want to say a very special hello to all my friends out there that watch Mid-South Wrestling. This is the #1 rated show, and the reason it is because they have the greatest wrestlers in the world, starting from the bottom all the way to the top. Now, everybody knows I've been gone for a little while, but now I'm back, and I'm back to stay. I feel like I've come home. But when you come home and you look around and you see the likes of people like Eddie Gilbert, Humperdinck, and the Nightmare, just taking care of business and running roughshod, it makes me sick, so I've come back to do something about it. Well, Eddie Gilbert, you call yourself Hot Stuff, and I guess you really believe that. When it comes right down to it, you can't talk and you can't buff anybody when it's time to get in the ring. It's going to be you and me one-on-one. I know you're going to have Humperdinck out there, but I'll make sure that he stays out of the way, because Humperdinck, if you get in my way, I'm going to get rid of you, because I know, Gilbert, you are good. You've got that hot shot, but I got something called the forearm, and it's taking a lot of people out of that a lot better than you.
It's Mid-South Fan Appreciation Night, Tuesday night, January 28th, 7:30 at the Lakefront Arena. Every general admission seat, only $3. We'll tell you more in the hour.
Oh, yes, Stan and Steve. You better believe they all love them.
And with good reason, too. These guys are just dynamite excitement. They get it on in the ring and out of the ring. Look at the crowd. There's something else. Get around to see all the folks. Dan found a leftover, pick that young man up. Heading up, and we're ready to go. The opposition today out of West Memphis, Arkansas, Bill Rose, teaming up with his partner, the Spoiler. And they're going against 459 pounds, both from Florida, the Southern Tag champs, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, the fabulous one. All right. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit match. Rose hops out. Spoiler starts against Stan. Woo! Last Spoiler peeled out of that corner, but good. As his head slammed against the knee. Nice power move by Steve Kern.
Bill Rose takes over. And let me tell you, Rose, pretty good-sized gentleman himself, has his head rattled off that top turnbuckle. And the Fab putting it to. Big opposition today. Fab's given up a little better than 45 pounds total weight. As the spoiler and Bill Rose coming in close to 500, just under it. Whip into the rope. Double elbow.
I've been watching this. Look at these animals. They're not wrestlers. They're not scientific. Look what they're doing. Nothing but brutal luck. An elbow and a fist. Deliberately hurting the man. That's not wrestling.
That's it. That is a win.
The Fabulous Ones, also called the Fab, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. A great victory here on Power Pro Wrestling. Many of our fans in the Mid-South area, as I mentioned earlier, have seen the Fabs already in action. They're a great team. And there's a lot of great teams, it seems, right now in professional wrestling, especially in the Mid-South area. You've got the Bruise Brothers, the Sheep Herders on their way to Mid-South. They're an awesome team. But sitting on top of the hill, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Williams, so accurately described by Bill Apter, the senior editor of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, as the finest tag team combination in professional wrestling today. They are an awesome team, no doubt about it. And we'll have more exciting Power Pro Wrestling after this timeout.
The wrestling Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. And his opponent in the blue corner to my left, Bruiser Bob Sweetan. Alfred Neely, your referee.
Neely calling for the bell in this Power Professional Wrestling main event. Bruiser Bob Sweetan going against Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. What a great clash of two tremendous international superstars. Definitely. Whoa. Buzz Sawyer went for that quick blow in the turnbuckles, but Sweetan's catching it with the rights. Sawyer's going down hard, but Sawyer's a double tough man, as is Sweetan. I think this is going to be a great confrontation. Because both these men are well matched as far as their physical size. Sweetan with a slight advantage in experience. I think Sawyer with a slight advantage in quickness, probably. But both of them, like I said, they're great brawlers. And I just got to think that before this match is over, we're going to see this thing break down into a Donnybrook. Headlock by Bob Sweetan as Buzz Sawyer trying to pull the hair to extricate himself from the hold. Sawyer takes Sweetan to the ropes. But Sweetan clings to that headlock. He's controlling the head, and I think what he's trying to do here also, boys, is I think he's trying to slow Sawyer down and make him wrestle his match. I think Sweetan may have the advantage as far as tactical thinking in the match, just slightly over Sawyer. Sawyer can sometimes tend to get a little overzealous. I do things too quickly. Sweetan throwing those forearms in hard across the chest, returning in kind what Sawyer did to him on the turnbuckles. And Sawyer, breaking the eyes, gets the advantage and takes Sweetan in. He's biting Sweetan. An unnecessary tactic. I think it's just gonna result in Sweetan getting angry. Sawyer with that elbow, that punishing elbow that we saw level Hacksaw Duggan's lady friend recently on Mid-South Wrestling, one of the most heinous acts I've ever seen. Not only on Mid-South Wrestling, but anywhere in the wrestling world. Sawyer, they're going for the fall. He has it cradled, but Alfred Neely, a fine referee, checking the back there, and he noticed those tights were being pulled. He broke that hold. Again, Sawyer going to the hair. And again, we see Sweetan trying to control the head and thereby control the body. Sawyer making it up to a base. I don't know if either one of these men will be attacking one another's legs. We probably won't see too many duck unders and single legs and double legs in this match. You get under a kind of guy like Buzz Sawyer or Sweetan and you're going to be trapped.
under a lot of weight that you don't want to be under. Sawyer with a beautiful elbow there off the turnbuckles. Nice thinking on his part. This match is kind of seesawed back and forth, but it looks as if Sawyer has had his most effective moments when he's shaded the rules. And he might be doing it to the wrong person because Sweetan has shaded a couple of rules himself. This is a big match for both of these men. Of course, Sawyer moving into main event status by quickly challenging Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You can hear some of the fans in the background chanting for Duggan. Duggan not here in the studio today for this taping. I'm sure he'll be scouting Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, just like he used to do in his days at SMU and for the Atlanta Falcons. He was always in there early, one of the last ones to leave when it was game film scouting time. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, I think it better scout Hacksaw Jim Duggan out a little bit before he continues with his threats and continues to do things to Duggan like we saw him do on Mid-South. Sweetan firing back. He hammered Sawyer with a right cross, but Sawyer just stiffened up and shook it. Whoa! They took Sweetan high for a power slam, but whoa! They caught him!
He caught him and gained a win over Bruiser Bob Sweetan. There's the hand of the victor, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Now, let's go back to Jim Ross in the studio.
The Mad Dog, Buzz Sawyer, taking care of Bruiser Bob Sweetan. And without a doubt, Sweetan has long been known as one of the toughest men in professional wrestling, having held the Brass Knucks Championship in several areas on many occasions throughout his career. But Buzz Sawyer, without a doubt, is one of the toughest men walking the face of the earth. And his power slam is par excellence. It is a tremendous maneuver. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a real treat in store for you coming up. You're going to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Dr. Death Steve Williams joining forces to go against, well, if they're not the biggest team in wrestling at that time, I don't know who is. King Kong Bundy and the One-Man Gang. We'll have that great tag team explosion for you right after this from the exciting Mid-South Sports Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and please make plans on joining us now on Tuesday, January 28th at the UNO Lakefront Arena. It's Fan Appreciation Night. Tickets at all Ticketmaster outlets, ringside $8, but every general admission seat, in other words, every seat other than ringside in the whole house, has been reduced to only $3. Plus, from 6:30 to 7:30, bring your cameras and autograph books and meet your favorite stars. Plus, you're going to see, after the regular card, a 20-man, come dressed as you are, bunkhouse brawl. Plus, a lineup you won't soon forget. The Bruise Brothers go against the Sheep Herders. You'll see the Fab, Stan Lane, and Steve Kern on this card. Terry Taylor against Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert, Ted DiBiase, and Dr. Death will go against Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and the Masked Superstar. Jake the Snake Roberts will go against Dick Slater for the North American title. Order back with no disqualifications. And now, let's hear these comments from Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death.
I went through a lot of things in 1985, a lot of things to look and put behind us. Well, now it's 1986 and we want to be the people's champions. We've got a rough, tough match coming up against Buzz Sawyer and the Superstar.
That's right, Doc. And we've had this attitude adjustment, and we've got to go out and we've got to prove ourselves to the people. We've got a lot of things that went on, a lot of things that we did in the past that we've got to make up for and make the people believe in us. Now, I know, Superstar, your reputation worldwide, you're a bounty hunter. You go out and you're a headhunter. You look for people and you hurt people. Buzz Sawyer, you're the same. And I'm sure you're looking at this adjustment in Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase as a weakness. Don't count on it.
Well, both those men are going to be in the bunkhouse brawl, along with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and the Masked Superstar. Let's hear this from the Mad Dog.
Yeah. Dr. Death Steve Williams, you take it up on yourself. They come in the ring with the Masked Superstar, known all over the world. Only the Mad Dog might be known a little bit better. Him and me as tag team partners. You come to me and you say, hey, I want you two to come to me. I'm going to put the titles up. Well, son, I don't care about no titles. I don't care about titles. You think you're doing me a favor putting the titles up? You think you're doing Superstar a favor putting the titles up? You know what we care about? We care about hurting you guys. We care about crippling you and putting you out of wrestling. That's what we care about.
Quite a collision, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on Fan Appreciation Night at the UNO Lakefront Arena. Don't forget now, ringside seats $8, but every other seat in the house has been reduced to only $3. Fan Appreciation Night, you're going to be able to meet your favorite stars between 6:30 and 7:30. Bring your cameras and your autograph books, plus the 20-man. Come dressed as you are, bunk house brawl for $10,000. We'll tell you more.
Dr. Death and Hacksaw Jim Duggan taking on the massive team of King Kong Bundy and the one-man gang. You heard the ring introductions from ring announcer Cleet Dumpster. Very successful and well-known disc jockey in the Houston area. This match from just about 2 years ago. Dr. Death and Hacksaw Jim Duggan were training partners and roommates at the time of this match. You can see how Dr. Death's intense training regimen has helped him lose about 40 pounds. He's just about a completely different looking athlete now. Still just as powerful though. I think he's gained a lot of agility from his loss of weight. Obviously, if you're not carrying around 40 extra pounds, then you're going to be able to move a lot quicker. But Doc is still quick during the time of this match. Duggan and Doc both hammering Bundy. This match has gotten off to a Pier 6 brawl quite quickly. You got to realize, too, that there's about 1,200 pounds of flesh and blood in that ring. Kind of wonder if the ring's going to be able to hold all of it. If things keep going at this pace. Referee Ricky Ferreira trying to break things up a little bit there. King Kong Bundy, the man with the Atlantic City Avalanche. A move very similar to Dr. Death's Oklahoma Stampede. If you've watched Power Professional Wrestling for very long, however, you might have seen a match that we showed a few months back where Dr. Death pinned King Kong Bundy with the Oklahoma Stampede and put an end to the little feud that existed between those two. King Kong Bundy tying up with Dr. Death. You got to realize, even though Doc is a 300-pounder, he's outweighed by about 100 pounds by Bundy. But I just don't think that Bundy has the heart that Dr. Death does, or the heart that Hacksaw Jim Duggan does. I don't think he has the competitive spirit that either one of them have. I think if he gets into a situation or predicament that's a little bit too much for him to handle, he'll resort to some other tactics that might not ordinarily be used in the wrestling ring. Some people feel like all's fair within the squared circle, but I think it comes down to a point where people use tactics in the case where they just don't quite have the athletic ability or the heart to pull it out and keep going. Dr. Death is that kind of athlete. He'll go the extra mile. He'll do whatever it takes. He'll ignore that pain that's yelling in his ear telling him to quit or to resort to some other kind of tactic, whereas a lot of athletes wouldn't. Bundy hammering away with those chops. He fires Doc off, but Doc, coming off those ropes, hits Bundy with a tackle. He has him staggered, and Doc is attacking, but he's also keeping his distance there with the one-man gang in the corner. One thing that's always impressed me about Doc is he's always had such a great affinity for tag team wrestling, the strategy, and everything, ever since he ever started. He's progressed as well in tag team situations just as quickly as he has in single competition. And I think it's helped him gain the measure of success that he has now. And of course, he's being recognized along with DiBiase as being probably the top tag team wrestler in the country. He fires the one-man gang in. Double leg takedown. Coach Stanley Abel at OU would be proud of that move. The one-man gang, a little bit perplexed, I think. Dr. Death Steve Williams has come quite a long way since the time when he wrestled in this match. But I think the one-man gang has also improved as well. Both of them highly improved grapplers. Steve Dr. Death Williams slightly more so, I think, and as has been recognized by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, he won wrestling's most improved wrestler for the year of 1985. One-man gang with a duck under, which is unusual for such a tall man, and he goes straight to the full Nelson. A good move, but Steve Dr. Death Williams gets out of the way of Bundy's right cross and hammers it back with one of his own. And Bundy is hurting. Doc crowned him with that short right. I tell you, Doc's punches are deceptive. I've seen him throw those short rights in a couple of bars, and brother, they drop like flies. One-man gang and Bundy are both on the outside of the ring. This looks like a good time to fulfill our commercial commitments. Let's go back to Jim Ross in the studio, and we'll be back with the conclusion of this great match.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tremendous tag team encounter, and we'll be back with the exciting conclusion of this match right after this very brief commercial.
This match continues here on Power Professional Wrestling. Our PPW main event, King Kong Bundy and the one-man gang going against Dr. Death Steve Williams and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. This bout took place 2 years ago at the Sam Houston Coliseum. We picked it up right where we left off, so you won't miss a second of this great bout. Dr. Death tags into Hacksaw Duggan, who comes in doing the stop, and the one-man gang gets out. So does Bundy. That's the kind of fighting heart I was speaking of earlier. The one-man gang and Bundy, I just don't think that they have quite the spirit of athletic competition that Duggan and Doc do. Ricky Ferreira with the count. One-man gang and Bundy stretching the count to its limit. But that might not have been a bad move on the part of Bundy and gang, because that type of thing may cool down the excitement of Duggan. Duggan is the kind of guy, when he gets going and gets rolling, he's bound to take your head off. But I think that little lull in the action might have slowed him down a little bit. One-man gang came out with his fist up in the air, and Duggan shows him that he's the wrong man to mess with when it comes to that department. Because Duggan would just as soon fight you as wrestle you. We all know that. Duggan, of course, was a great amateur wrestler, however. High school state heavyweight champion in New York. And, of course, the wrestling standards in New York are very close to that of Oklahoma and Iowa. Two of the dominating states in amateur wrestling for quite some time. Wrestling has always been popular in Oklahoma, whether it be professional or amateur. People in Tulsa know that there really hasn't been a wrestling resurgence over the past year. It's always been popular here, especially in Tulsa and Oklahoma City. One-man gang missing with that elbow. Duggan turns around and hammers him with a right cross. He has him down for the lateral press, but gang quickly gets his feet on the ropes. The ring here in Houston is 20 by 20, a little bit larger than some of the other rings. I think it's very apropos for this match, because these four fellas take up a lot of space. King Kong Bundy into the ring now. Duggan and Dr. Death have got to watch their strategy when they go up against these two guys. King Kong Bundy It's a lot like Mitch Shelton, the guy who used to wrestle for OSU. He and Dr. Death ran into each other occasionally on the amateur mats. But Doc says one thing about a big guy like that. You never can get under him. Duggan there with a flurry of rights and lefts. Bundy was just out of the way of a couple of them there. Duggan doesn't always judge distance as well as some people. He's always had a problem with his eyes. Wears very heavy glasses. He's, of course, unable to wear contacts in the ring. That problem became evident several months ago after Skandar Akbar burned him on what was basically his good eye. Duggan, for a while, was very fearful that he would lose his eyesight altogether. Had a tremendous outpouring from the fans of love and respect for him. Really helped him out. Probably one of the largest fan responses we've ever had. We've received more mail on that than just about anything. Bundy there with the lateral press, and that's, of course, a very dangerous situation, even for a man as strong as Dr. Death, because when you have 400 pounds on top of you, I don't care who you are, it's going to be tough to get up. Bundy and the one-man gang kind of taking it to Doc now. Doc tried to reverse that arm whip, but slipped out of it. The gang catches him with a clothesline right across the neck, and now it's the gang in for the lateral press. Doc's in trouble, but nice bridge. Dr. Death with a beautiful bridge. He set it up just in time and pulled the one-man gang off of him. Ricky Ferreira, though, gets in the way of that altercation, and now Doc is at the mercy of these two huge individuals. But, of course, if there's ever a better man to be in there to help you out in a situation like that, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Still, however, Ricky Ferreira having trouble keeping just two men in the ring at a time. I'm surprised this match has been as orderly as it has been, with all four men being in the ring only twice so far in the match. But I can guarantee you, if things get a little bit rough, the one-man gang or Bundy, either one, won't hesitate to double team against their opponents. Ricky Ferreira checking that hold to make sure it's legal. Bundy, of course, has Dr. Death in a rear chin lock. This is a good move for Bundy at this time because they have Dr. Death a little bit worn down. And with all that weight on top of him like that, Duggan, as you can see, Dr. Death, however, is not up at a good base, really. The position he's in right now is pretty tough to get out of. Doc trying to fight back. Ricky Ferreira was checking his arm there. Bundy tightening that chin lock. You got to give Bundy credit. He's pretty agile for a big man. He displays a lot of wrestling skill. And he's a good thinker in the ring, too, a good tactician. Whoa! He whipped Doc in hard. Had he went for a big splash in the turnbuckles and Doc got out of the way, could have been a saving grace for Doc. One-man gang extending over the top of Dr. Death. Gang almost a little bit too high on those ropes. He might have lost his balance if Doc would have pushed it in a little bit farther. Elbow. Doc's in trouble. But you got to admire him for staying in this long against these two veterans of the ring. Dr. Death at this time was a rookie. Duggan gets the tag and he's in and he's firing away. Duggan's firing away with his grade A hands there earlier, and let me tell you, it doesn't take too many of those to annihilate the average wrestler. He's taking the gang's head into the turnbuckle repeatedly, and Gang is out of it. Oh. Duggan there had to redirect his course to miss referee Ricky Ferreira. And I think he should have aborted that move, but he went for it anyway, and he goes straight into the turnbuckle. And now Bundy is relentless. He knows he's going to have to turn it on against Duggan. Duggan, the fresh man in the ring. He took a hard shot to that shoulder, but it takes a lot more than that to keep Hacksaw Jim Duggan down. I guarantee you that. Bundy with those chops and rights. They can hurt you with a 400 pounds of mass behind them. Bundy and gang double teaming once again. Referee Ricky Ferreira is on their case, but Bundy turns around. Oh! Duggan's rocking off those ropes with the rights. I'm surprised. Let me tell you, I am really surprised that the one-man gang is still on his feet after getting hammered with those. The gang is a tough individual, because Duggan was flat hammering him. You will not see that too often. Duggan ducks underneath the clothesline. Flying body press. I think Duggan should have gone for the spear at that point. But Duggan caught him off guard anyway with that flying body press. Just about had him for the 3 count. Let me tell you, that 3 count can come awful quick. Duggan decides to come off the other ropes, get some velocity. He had the momentum, but gang is so big. Both men are down. Ricky Ferreira with a double count. Dr. Death was wanting to come into the ring there. That would have been an inopportune time because Ricky Ferreira was watching. He was right on him, and if Doc would have touched the one-man gang, that would have resulted in a disqualification. Dr. Death hammered away with those rights. He catches the gang in the ropes. An advantageous position, but here you see Bundy. Bundy coming right into the ring. Now that should have been a disqualification right there. Referee Ricky Ferreira made a big mistake right there. That should have been a disqualification. Dr. Death choking Bundy in the ropes. You see, look at this. Doc has all 400 pounds up for the stampede. He takes him in and stampedes him. But all 4 men are in the ring. Ricky Ferreira should have made the count at that point. I don't know what's going through Ferreira's mind, but he made a big mistake. Dr. Death stampeded King Kong Bundy and had him down for what looked like more than a 3 count. Ricky Ferreira confused with the action that was going on outside of the ring. Whoa! Duggan puts the spear into the back of Dr. Death and holds him down. Yeah! Dr. Death gets the lateral press on the gang. You hear the bell. Ricky Ferreira is raising the arms of Dr. Death and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. A very well-deserved victory and a very decisive one at that, I might add. The one-man gang got pinned by Dr. Death. And I think that Dr. Death pinned Bundy as well. Within that series, you hear Cleet Dumpster announcing the official decision. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the winners. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Dr. Death, the winners of this match. And the crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum loves it. Let's go back to Jim.
A great victory for Hacksaw Duggan and Dr. Death Steve Williams, who at that time were roommates. They were training together every day, and Jim Duggan just bending the rules just a little bit and giving his partner, Dr. Death Steve Williams, a little added momentum. But in any event, it goes down as a victory for Hacksaw Duggan and Dr. Death Steve Williams over the massive team of King Kong Bundy and the one-man gang. And ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Bill Watts will be joining us in a few moments. He'll be talking with Congressman James R. Jones, and we'll have that conversation right after this from the exciting Mid-South Network. Thanks for staying with us, everybody, and please join us again next weekend, same time, on this great television station, Channel 26, for another exciting hour of wrestling action. Now, Fan Appreciation Night. What a big night for Mid-South. We're going to make it a big night for you as well. Tuesday night, January 28th, at the UNO Lakefront Arena. All general admission seats, and that is every seat other than ringside, has been reduced to only $3. That's for children and adults. Plus, from 6:30 to 7:30, I'd like to invite you to come early, bring your camera and autograph books, meet your favorite stars, and then after the regular card, we're going to have a 20-man come dressed as you are bunkhouse brawl for $10,000. A great lineup. Brett Sawyer's on the card. Plus, you're going to see the Bruise Brothers against the Sheepherders. The Fabs on this card. Stan Lane and Steve Kern against Al Perez and Ricky Gibson. Terry Taylor against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death will go against Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and the Masked Superstar. And Jake the Snake Roberts with his DDT. It's been ordered back with no disqualifications. North American title going against Dick Slater. We could not get Dick Slater to come on camera, but Dick Murdoch made a statement for Dick Slater. Let's hear this.
You know, Jake Roberts, you were a lucky individual when you won the TV championship. But you know, Mid-South Championship Committee, they get excited during all the action every now and then and say you can't hold two titles at one time. Well, Dickie Slater is going to let me hold the North American title for a while he comes and gives you a good old country whooping, while he comes and takes your TV title, Jake Roberts, and then he sends you on the road crying like a scalded hound dog with your tail tucked between your legs. Because Jake Roberts, the only thing you got going for you, and the only thing you got going for you, is a DDT. And we have worked out an escape, a counter move for the DDT. Jake Roberts, polish up the little trophy, polish up the TV title, because it's coming to our stable.
This is really an intriguing situation in as much as that Slater refused to come on camera. Murdoch did want to be on camera, as he is a never lost for words, and now they say they have the counter for the DDT. Well, the man with the DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts, has made comments. Let's hear this.
You are the North American champion. You have the gold around your waist. Newly crowned champion. How long can you hold on to it, Slater? How long? A lot of tough men have held that title. You're just one of them. So don't think you're nothing special. Oh, you got a fine-looking woman sitting there at ringside that likes to stick her hand in sometime. But I'll tell you this now, Journey. I'll drop you the same way I would a man. So before you stick your hand in there, think about losing the hand. Slater, no disqualification rules for the title. Ordered back because we didn't get it done the first time. I'm ready. Are you ready? Can anybody be ready for DDT? No.
Fan Appreciation Night, Tuesday night, January the 28th, Lakefront Arena. Every general admission seat, only $3. Thanks for staying with us, ladies and gentlemen. And at this time, we'd like to take a look at a special interview that Cowboy Bill Watts conducted with Congressman James R. Jones. Congressman Jones and his sons often attend the live events in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Cowboy Bill Watts had the opportunity to talk to the congressman. Let's hear what they had to say.
Well, it's my pleasure to have an old college schoolmate of mine, Congressman Jim Jones, visiting us. And Jim, you're up there battling the tax package, and of course you're the senior member and the head of the Social Security Committee, so you've really got some hot jobs in Washington, D.C. But when you're home, you come here to relax.
Well, this is a good time to relax. We've had a great holiday. The boys and I are taking in one of their favorite pastimes, and I want to congratulate you for putting on such a good program. It's really good entertainment.
Well, thank you. And of course, Jeff and AJ, they keep growing every year. It seems like they're passing you by.
That's right. I can still beat them up, but it won't be long.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here. We know that wrestling is one of your all's favorite forms of entertainment, as is ours, and we're going to be expanding, and so it's great to have a friend up in Washington, D.C.
Congratulations to you. We've both come a long way since OU.
Yes, it sure has. Thanks a lot.
Congressman James R. Jones, one of the more prominent figures on Capitol Hill. He and his sons, great professional wrestling fans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next week here on Power Pro Wrestling, a tremendous lineup. Not only will you see Terry Taylor in action here next week, but Joel Watts will also have a premiere video on Terry Taylor that you'll see right here on Power Pro Wrestling next week. We'll also see a video on the Fabs, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, and we're going to see one of the greatest Power Pro main events we've ever brought you, and that will be a dog collar showdown between the Mad Dog, Buzz Sawyer, and Hacksaw Butch Reed. That tremendous matchup, so much more, here next week on Power Pro Wrestling. Thank you very much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, on PPW. Tell your friends about our program. We'd certainly appreciate all the mail that we've been receiving, and we hope to see you at the live wrestling events in your area. Ladies and gentlemen, for our whole crew, I'm Jim Ross saying until we see you next week, so long, everybody.
You're watching.